IDLO is very pleased to welcome Dr. Sima Samar of Afghanistan with us today at our Assembly of Parties. How encouraged are you by the recent conviction of 4 men in the highly publicized case of Lal Bibi?
I'm very happy that it has happened because Lal Bibi is an example of violence against women in Afghanistan. And this conviction at least helped in the rule of law and reduction of the culture of impunity.
The fact that 4 men were policemen, i.e. law enforcers, should that worry us, or on the contrary, does it suggest an end to impunity?
I think as I mentioned, that anybody, we are all human beings, even if we are judge or prosecutor or police officer or law enforcement, working in law enforcement institution, we have to be monitored and we have to be accountable for our action. So that is very good, I think.
How much comfort should we draw from the fact that Lal Bibi's family and clan stood up for her and sought justice through the courts, as opposed to submitting to custom or even turning against the female victim, as often happens in honor crimes?
I think it's quite a good success, and we are happy with it because the family took Lal Bibi and came and called for justice. In fact, they went to our office in Kunduz, and then they came to Kabul. We saw her. And we are really satisfied that the family did, and it's very rare, and it does show that the people now are not treating the cases of rape as a honor of the family and killing the girl and hiding it. So that is a positive outcome of the work of all of us who is working for promotion of rule of law, including IDLO.
To your knowledge, do Afghan women tend to view the Lal Bibi verdict as a one-off or indicative of a broader trend?
Well, I think it's a positive sign, and we can use this as for promotion of justice in the country.
Is there a danger of backsliding? This week has brought sad news of the assassination of Nadia Siddiqui, a women's rights official in eastern Afghanistan.
Well, it might have backlashes. Nobody knows because we still have armed groups who are active in Afghanistan, in different parts of Afghanistan. And not only this lady, 2 days ago she was killed in Laghman. And if you remember, 3 months ago, the lady who was working in the same position before her was also killed in Laghman, and it is really sad. And I'm very sorry. I hope that the perpetrator be caught and brought to justice.
How committed do you think the Afghan authorities are to pursuing legal empowerment for women in the country and facing down any backlash?
It depends who is in that position, because I can't say that 100% are really committed politically to promote women's rights and women's equality in Afghanistan. And I can't say that all of them are not committed. We have good people who are really standing at the side of victims, whoever is the victim, and who believe on principles of justice and human rights. But we have people who are not believing. We have unfortunately, some judges and prosecutors who does not believe on these issues. They always blame the women. You were not dressed properly. You just encourage the men to attack you, so on. This not only in Afghanistan, it's also in your country. So that is a common trend of human being, but hopefully it'll take the positive side of it.
What elements of customary law and practices can we safely preserve or draw upon to women's benefits? Are there any?
I'm afraid to say that we don't have to preserve the bad traditional and violent traditional on women, because by using the excuse of respecting religion and culture, then we might also promote the negative part of the tradition and culture. So I'm not very happy with the preserving the culture. Yes, respect of women should be for her dignity as a human being, rather than bringing culture.
Do you fear a weakening of the international community's will to advance women's rights in Afghanistan, especially once troops are withdrawn? Where do you think the effort should be targeted as the Western military presence winds down?
I think in my view, security is not only not to hear an active war, it's more than that, and that is good governance, respect for human rights, and provision of justice in the country. And that should be, we still have time for the full withdrawal of the troops. We have to focus on those issues, on good governance and accountability and justice, and also on development in country. At least the government has to be in position to provide basic social services to the people.
How do you assess IDLO's and other internationals and NGOs' involvement on behalf of women in Afghanistan, legal empowerment, legal assistance, training of justice officials and practitioners, etc.? Are we doing the right thing?
Well, as I said in my recommendation, that yes, your work has been, of course, been positive, but I would suggest that you have to prioritize and pick up 2-3 projects and really have a stronger impact rather than going here and there picking small things. And that would be very helpful. The other issue that I would like IDLO to do is the prosecutors' department that they put on elimination of violence against women and training prosecutors on that. That should be strengthening, and it should be reached all over the country rather than only the big cities.
Where do you see the women of Afghanistan in 20 or 30 years' time? The Soviet-backed regime had an explicit modernizing agenda for women, but it was vitiated by tyranny and crumbled once the Russians withdrew. How do we ensure that whatever we put in place now doesn't also crumble? How do we ensure women's empowerment takes root in Afghan society?
Well, I don't think the USSR had a special program for women's empowerment. The reason was there were more women, for example, in the Kabul University because they took all the boys to military services, so it was possibility for girls to go. They didn't have a proper program and policy for women's advancement. So I believe that it will come through education, and we all have to focus on education and really give a tool to the women to continue the struggle and continue their demand for equal rights.
Thank you very much.